Hey guys, certified high performance coach Trish returns. I will wait to see if anybody hops on here because I have a nice little quote to talk about today. What's up? Hey Swain. What's up? All right, so I just wanted to say something because I heard this really good quote from Brendan Burchard talking about, like, can you have a kind heart and still say no? And when it comes to time management, which is a lot of what I coach people through, and a lot of times it's not necessarily that. But that's the problem when people come in, right? I see a lot of it where they're flying by the seat of their pants, right? Like, if that's you, you know what that feels like. I sure as hell know what that feels like from back in the day. I don't allow myself to go there anymore, and I have strategies and tools and habits that keep me out of that zone where you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. But man, I remember the days of just feeling like the day would just zip by and like I didn't feel a flipping thing. But one of the biggest strategies that you can have is starting to get flipping okay with saying no. Because we all know you have a kind heart. We all know you're a nice person and that you don't mean anything by saying no, but you have to be okay with saying no. You have to be vulnerable in the fact that when someone comes to you for something, like, I am literally a reformed people pleaser, like 100%. Like, I remember back in the day going from gym 1 to gym 2 and being so flippin' stressed out and overwhelmed and so much shit on my plate, but I was allowing that to happen at the time. But man, I remember like going out with my family while they were visiting, but being like on email, getting back to clients while my family's in town from Michigan and New Jersey. Like, what the F? Like, no way. Like, no way. There was like, I was totally out of my mind. Like, how could I not be present with my folks when they come to visit me, right? It's the stupidest thing, but we allow ourselves to go to that point, and then all of a sudden you don't even feel the day anymore. And it's gone, and it flew by, and then a week flies by, 2 months fly by, and you're still flying by the seat of your pants, and then 5 years goes by, and you're like, shit, right? Like, I hope to God that you never get to that point. Like, I was pretty deep in the weeds when I flipped and got a high performance coach. That's like, was one of my ways of getting out of that, was to ask for support. Like, reach out to somebody. If it's not me, reach out to someone that's going to give you support. And I don't mean like a loved one. Yes, God bless them for wanting to give you good advice, but they also love and are emotionally attached to you. And when you reach out to someone like that for help, it's good, but you also need someone else that's outside of your scope of people. And like, I'm typically talking to business owners, and business owners are going to their family for advice, but they don't understand their world, right? So you need to find somebody outside of your scope of, in your 4 walls of your house and your business, and actually reach out to them for support. Ask for help. Like, so number 1 is saying no. No one's going to hate you. Like, say no to things. Like, you don't have to do all the things. Like, high performers especially, and I know what it feels like. You get all these opportunities, and you just want to do them all. Like, yeah, I would love to be able to do everything, but one human cannot support the entire world like that. You have to pick the things that make you feel the most jazzed, the most in flow, the most excited, and go with those things. And then keep the other things in mind on the back burner if you want to, but you don't need to say yes to everything. I feel like that's a huge piece in our culture, is that if we say no to something, we feel remorse, but really the other person, not remorse, but we feel bad about it, or we feel like we're not contributing, or we're not, we feel bad about not going to a birthday party or not going to see somebody, whatever it may be, if they're out and they're in town for a second. Like, yeah, there's certain times, there's a time and a place, but you really have to decide for yourself, is that worth it? Which it might be. It might be a yes, and you'll know in your heart whether or not it's a yes. So that's what I tell clients too, is like, listen to what your body is telling you. Like, physiology, like, we go through an entire coaching session of physiology. And physiology is crazy. Like when you get hairs on the back of your neck, or you get like a tingly sensation, or you get goosebumps, like that kind of physiology. For some reason, when we use this term, a lot of people don't know what physiology means. And I think it's important to know the difference between physical and physiology, like physically and physiologically. Like internally, what does your feel like? What does your gut feel like? Like what is your heart telling you? Like you should be able to feel that stuff, or at least start paying attention to it and being aware of it. And that's like what I love to do. That's why I love coaching so much, is because I get to bring that awareness to people. And then when they get it, all of a sudden it's a habit and it clicks. And they start following their heart. They start following like what makes them feel good, instead of doing things regardless of how they feel. Like they'll really know that it was a bad decision internally, and they'll get done. They'll be like, man, I knew that was the wrong decision. And that's because they didn't listen to that. So like really be true to that. Listen to it. Say no. Put a big NO up on it and say, look, you have to say it the right way. So like be cordial with them, be compassionate with them. Like, look, I'd really love to, but today is a no. Like I really got to get my sleep, or I really got to hunker down and do my numbers this month, or I really got whatever you're working on that's going to push the needle that you know you need to do. And unfortunately, a lot of times, hi Ken, hey Jerry, Carlos, what's up, man? A lot of times, hey Sean, a lot of times it's I lost my train of thought. I got excited. I saw so many people on here. Oh shit. Oh, a lot of times, you like it really frustrates me, and I notice it a lot now. Like people that really get frustrated when they're at a restaurant and somebody brings them the wrong plate of food, like the waitress brings it out and they get all pissed off and like yell at them and like get really angry, and I'm like, whoa, like, did that just happen? Like people really react like that? Like it's just the wrong meal. Like just send it back. Why are you in such a rush, right? Obviously, I don't know their brain. I don't know what's going on in them. So I leave it. I'm not judging. I'm just like observing. But the thing is when somebody's late, for instance, somebody's late to pick you up, or, we get like that little bit of frustration, and I'm just as guilty of it sometimes too. But then when it comes to us, and it's like we disappoint ourselves, all of a sudden we get a pass, right? It's like, oh no, I didn't do that. I know I was supposed to, but it's okay. I'll get to it tomorrow. It's like you can't give yourself a pass for that shit. You got to step up and do it and do the work. And that's where time management comes in, because when you start to act like that and you start doing the things that you really know you need to do that are going to push the needle for you, then all of a sudden you do have all this free time. You have freedom. You can hang out with your family. You can go out and do the things with your folks and actually be present in the moment because you did the work during the day. So I get it. Life happens. I hate that term. I really hate that quote. People say it all the time, especially as a gym owner. Back in the day, people say that all the flipping time. And I understand that it does happen. There's a time and a place. But there's also a time, there's also a cap that needs to be put on that and feeling like that, because you can't go weeks wallowing in that self-loathing nonsense, right? Like you got to at least have the conscious to be like, okay, I need to cap that and move on and really figure out what I need to do next. So anyway, it's Friday, TGIF. Hope you're having an awesome week, and enjoy the weekend. Peace.